what do we think of shit? Thank you.
Hello boys and girls, and literally about 30 minutes ago, Jack Wilshere confirmed the news that lots of Gunners were fearing. He is to leave Arsenal Football Club after a 17-year association with the club when his contract expires at the end of the month. I've got to say, I am absolutely gutted. By losing Jack Wilshere, we're basically losing a part of Arsenal, because this man basically has Arsenal running through his blood vessels. Throughout last season, in a lot of games, he was the one person that Arsenal fans looked at and thought, he's the one person that's putting in the effort. He's one player that looks like he's trying his hardest, trying to make a difference, and really, really wanted it for the team. So, as you can probably guess, I'm really, really unhappy. As disappointing as it is to hear that Jack Wilshere's leaving, I also feel as though it's essential to Arsenal Football Club in order to move forward, because if you look at the bigger picture, we can't afford to carry on being sentimental, because if we did carry on being sentimental, then we'd be keeping Arsene Wenger at this club for 10 years. We can't afford to carry on being sentimental, because although he's probably the one player last season that kept trying his hardest throughout the game, it rarely produced goals if you look at the stats. I think he scored 2 goals last season, one in the Europa League and the other against Chelsea. And when you compare those stats with Aaron Ramsey, who was banging in goals left, right and centre last season, particularly towards the end of last season, it's clear to see why Unai Emery has chosen to build his team around Ramsey and not Wilshere. He wants to tie Aaron Ramsey down to a new contract. Granit Xhaka, Mohamed Elneny and Ainsley Maitland-Niles have all signed brand new contracts in the last few weeks, and Lucas Torreira is looking more and more likely that he'll be joining the Arsenal roster by the end of the week. I've heard that's how early it can be completed by. So when you look at all of these new signings and these new contract extensions, you have to ask yourself, where does Jack Wilshere fit into this system? And the simple answer is, he doesn't. You know, he's 26 years old, he's just missed out on the World Cup, and he's just come off the back of one of the few seasons in his career where he stayed fit the whole way through. He can't afford for his career to stagnate again by only being used as a squad player. He needs to be playing every week. And he said to himself on his Instagram post an hour back that such opportunities would not have been available under the system that Unai Emery wants to operate under. Now, going back to Aaron Ramsey, Jack Wilshere's departure makes it 10 times more important that Aaron Ramsey extends his contract here. Because if we lose both Ramsey and Wilshere, then we'll probably have to throw Ainsley Maitland-Niles into the centre of midfield every week. And we've seen in the past, like with Alex Iwobi and Hector Bellerin, if you're playing them week in, week out, one bad game can completely shatter their confidence. And as is noticeable from last season, their lack of confidence has completely stagnated their development. And I really, really don't want this to happen to Ainsley Maitland-Niles, because I genuinely believe he's a quality player. So Aaron Ramsey's experience and leadership, having been at Arsenal for 10 years, will make it so important that he stays at this club. And it'll make it a lot easier to move on from Jack Wilshere's absence. Do I have faith in the Arsenal board to get Aaron Ramsey tied down to a new deal? Yes, I do. They've already started to address areas that needed improvement. Like, they've already signed Stefan Lichtsteiner, and just today, Bernd Leno. You know, cover for Hector Bellerin was essential because he had no one to push himself after Mathieu Debuchy left in January. And Petr Cech, he's 36. That's all you have to say about him. David Ospina's not good enough. That was clear as daylight in the World Cup match he played today. So it was essential that we needed a new goalkeeper. So job done. Well done, Sven Mislintat. And it looks like Socrates Papadopoulos, or however the hell you say his name, and Lucas Torreira, it looks like both of those are in the pipeline as well. I reckon that Aaron Ramsey is next up. Now, back to Jack, and where next for him? He definitely will not have a shortage of suitors. I've heard that West Ham are interested, Crystal Palace are interested, Southampton, Everton, Wolves. I've even heard Bournemouth have been touted to make another move for Jack Wilshere. My personal preference? I think the best move for Jack Wilshere would be to go to Crystal Palace. He won't have to relocate from London because Crystal Palace are in London. He will play week in, week out, guaranteed. And Roy Hodgson clearly has a lot of faith in him, given that he picked him for Euro 2016 while he was still the manager of England. It makes perfect sense for him to go to Crystal Palace. But wherever he goes, I will continue to support him because Jack and I are part of the Arsenal family. And like Arsene Wenger before him, I thank you for the memories, but it's time to say goodbye. All the best in your next career path, wherever it leads you to, and I hope you can stay fit next season and become the player that Arsene Wenger always believed you could become. So long, my friend. I'm out of here.